Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
With me is Lord Kerslake. Bob, you've just written a report for John McDonnell, the Shadow Chancellor, about reforming the Treasury, and one of your main recommendations is it's got to be much more focused. Actually, you'd quite like to see it get out of certain areas, perhaps some of the financial services regulation area. But can I just ask you, you ran the civil service for a chunk of the time that George Osborne was Chancellor. Did you feel that it overreached itself, that it was, in a sense, too powerful?
Well, I think it had its moments, let's put it that way. I did definitely see the Treasury at its very best, but I also saw some of the issues we raise in our report. What I think is important to say, though, is the report is a reflection of what we heard back from businesses, from civil servants, for those who deal with government and the Treasury. And what we've sought to do in this independent report is give voice to the things that they said to us.
What's striking to me, though, is that much of what you say should happen has, in fact, already happened. There's been a massive shift of power to Downing Street. In fact, you know, when I speak to Treasury officials, they moan that they've been marginalised. It's the first time, well, really since the mid-90s, where they feel they're sort of out of the loop on so many big decisions. And, of course, industrial strategy has been given to the business department. So Theresa May has sort of done what you wanted what any government to do.
Well, we started our report when George Osborne was the Chancellor, and we finished it when Philip Hammond is. And clearly, different Chancellors make a difference. And in fact...
But do you think she's gone too far? Because one of the things that, you know, people at the Treasury moan about is, for example, they've got almost no role in Brexit.
Well, this is a key point, and we do say in our report that we do need a strong, trusted Treasury. And we think that the Project Fear and the emergency Brexit budget took their toll on the credibility of the Treasury. We're also concerned about whether it has the capacity to both do the day job, if you like, and also do what we need to do on Brexit. So actually we need a strong Treasury in the right way, focused on its key responsibilities of economy and finance.
There's also a little paradox, which is you say that they're actually, despite the fact that everybody moans about Treasury enforced cuts, that they're not very good at finance.
We think they need more professional finance people in the Treasury. It's always been dominated by economists, actually, and we think, actually, if it's going to play this role as being the chief financial officer for government, it needs to be equipped in order to do that and play that role in an enabling way, not a controlling way.
Now, although, you know, you think of yourselves as having produced a sort of a report by independents. It was commissioned by John McDonnell. He is regarded as, in a sense, the driving force behind the Corbyn project. Is it remotely plausible that he would actually do any of what you say he should do?
We've done the report for him, but we've done it for a wider audience as well. I can say that other than asking me to do it and helping with the printing, that's as much as he has sought to influence the report. Yeah. It's independent. It is the voice of many, many people who contributed. And I think it has value, actually, for anybody who's interested in the well-being of the government and indeed the Treasury.
Now, a couple of other points relating to your many bailiwicks. You're in the House of Lords.
I am.
Shami Chakrabarti said that she thinks the Lords should amend the Article 50 bill. Do you agree?
I think we've got to put some questions back to the Commons. I think it's right and proper that we have a debate about these issues. Of course, the referendum gave us a clear majority in favour of leaving the European Union, but it did not tell us exactly what people think about leaving the single market, or indeed leaving the customs union, or indeed on the issue of whether we should have
so it's right and proper for the Lords to amend the bill? I
think it's right and proper that we have that debate, and indeed where we think it's justified to amend the bill. And just let me say this, we should not let ourselves be influenced by the threats about our future. If we do that, we might as well pack up and go home. There is a debate to be had about the future of the Lords, but whilst we're here, we have a job to do.
Now, your other big job is you are chair of a big London hospital trust.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be, you know, in charge of hospitals at the moment?
It's tough. You feel a real responsibility in this role, and indeed at King's, which I think is a fantastic hospital, does some great things. You can see all the issues that you can see in the wider NHS, and I think anybody who
This
works
issue of
in
spare, how much spare capacity, you know, how close to, I mean, as you say, yours is a well-run trust, many would say, but presumably you're operating dangerously close to full capacity.
I think anybody who works in the NHS now knows that we cannot go on as we are. We have to see change, and whilst money isn't the only issue, it's an important part of what needs
and is it,
to
just to be
change.
clear, is it really money? Is the real problem getting old people out of hospitals? Is social care for you the nub of the problem?
It's a key issue. It's not the only issue, though. We need more resources into the health service and the social care system. This is the most important thing for people's lives, so we've got to fund it properly.
Lord Kerslake, it's
Thank you.
a great pleasure to have you on the show.